Man card back, please. Blokes card.
Sorry, Gareth.
Yeah. Sure. So no Bond. I was also going to say no Westerns, because again, they're separate, even though they are often full of action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that still fine with you?
Still fine with me.
And finally, no war films, because they're, again, a separate entity, even though they are full of action.
Cool. Yes, no doubt. That's fine.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I also just thought there are lots of stuff that, whilst they don't have to be in these films, they crop up all the time, and it's what really helps an action film be great, okay? So, first of all, it was made in the 80s. Okay, so 80s films are almost always the best action films, right?
Sure, yeah.
Obviously, there are many exceptions, but a rule of thumb, 80s is the best. Mm-hmm. There's got to be at least one montage where there's like music going and they're sort of like preparing something or training or like, I don't know, some sort of montage, right?
Yeah.
The soundtrack has got to be incredible. Either a great original soundtrack, like a score or something, also great sort of pop and rock tracks from the time, right? They always help. Can often be interlinked with the montage, obviously. Mm-hmm. Great cars/vehicles.
Yeah, big
super
time.
Cool. Super cool sports cars. Cool tanks, jeeps. Whatever. Vehicles and cars play a massive part. There's also got to be an element of comedy/wisecracking.
Yeah,
because
that was huge for me. That like the comedy's important, big time.
Yeah, it's not even got to be good. That's why I say wisecracking, because there are several lines that are not funny, but they are hilarious in a sort of action film kind of way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
And the last one was not always, but it often includes cops, especially maverick cops. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, so, maverick cops that their wife have just left them.
Yeah, they're on a downward spiral. Alcoholics.
They drink too much. Yeah,
paired up with another cop that is nothing like them.
You know what? You've listed that, and I was looking through mine, and I only think one of my films like nails the categories. All the ones that you've laid out.
That's perfectly. All right. They're just rough things. I just thought it'd be cool to like.
I think you're right. I completely agree with you. And one of mine, one of mine is barely in the 90s. So that kind of fits.
Cool. Absolutely fine.
So why don't you go with your first one?
Sure. I actually have watched this recently, and this falls into a sort of one of my favourite subcategories of action film, which is the buddy cop film. Right,
yeah.
just like what we were saying, cops that are sort of thrust together. They don't like each other. They're cut from a different cloth. These 2 or 3 or whatever cops, and lots of funny stuff, lots of shooting, lots of driving. There was a lot to choose from in this sort of category. Right, there is Lethal Weapon. There's Bad Boys. There's Rush Hour. Right, there's Point Break. Right, but I'm going to go my favourite, Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it nails it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is off the chain. It's super 80s. Oh, and it's got a great car. In fact, there's loads of great cars in the thing, right? Yeah. Maverick cops. There's montage when he arrives in Beverly Hills. Also, another one I forgot to... another prerequisite I forgot to put on there is like fit chicks and / nudity, right? Gratuitous, usually. It's just sort of thrown in to like make blokes go, whoa, yeah, that's sort of thing.
Completely unnecessary, yeah.
Yeah, people on beaches, people by pools, that sort of thing. And it's got all of it, right? So I'm going to go for my first pick, Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop, number 1.
It's a great shout. It's a fantastic shout. Okay, so, right, here. So, I've got my options here. I've got more than 3 in front of me now, which is bad. I don't know why I've done this. I think you're going to hate this first pick of mine.
Oh, it's not sci-fi, is it?
Now, I couldn't, obviously, it's an action sci-fi.
Okay.
Action comes first, though, I promise.
Sure.
And it is a Bruce film as well, Bruce Willis.
Cool.
And this is The Fifth Element.
Okay.
Now, I've talked to you about this probably a few times, and I have asked you. I tried getting you to watch it. Did you end up watching it, or just you did watch it but weren't keen on it? Or
This is the one I always get confused with another film, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Is this the one with Liv Tyler in it? And there's an Aerosmith.
No, that's Armageddon.
Oh, okay.
Which is a great film.
Okay.
But...
No, that's the bad one. So
How dare you? But that's
Armageddon is the terrible one. And when people say to me Fifth Element, I always think about Armageddon. So to be fair, I've not seen it recently, so I'll have to rewatch it. So yeah, I'm a mere passenger. Tell me about it.
Okay, let me tell you. Let me lay the story down. Jesus, what am I saying? So we've got Bruce, main character. He is a cop, and guess what? He's a retired cop, and he's the retired best cop they've ever had.
Of course.
All right?
Yep.
And they always try to get him back in. He's like, no, I'm out. I'm out for good now. I'm never coming back.
Amazing.
They're always trying to get him back into a job. Gary Oldman is there. He's the baddie.
Great. Brilliant villain.
His name is Zog. But he's not wearing any... At least he's not wearing a weird suit or anything. He's just a normal guy.
Okay, cool.
And then we've got... I don't know if you watched the Resident Evil films, but the main lady from them...
I've not seen them, sorry.
She's like a Eastern European name. Mila Jovovich.
Okay. Rings a bell, but I can't put a face to it. Yeah.
Beautiful girl, really very supermodel-esque. You'll love her.
Nice.
Really fit, good action hero, to be honest. And you just kind of believe that she can kick the crap out of you as well.
Sweet.
Whereas with some films where you've got women antagonists, sometimes you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Not being weird or anything, but she'd kick the shit out of you. Anyway, basically the world's going to end, and Bruce Willis and Mila have to save the day. And it's just fantastic, man. It's such a good film. It doesn't lean too heavy on the sci-fi. It's still got all the tropes you want. You've got the comedy, you've got the action, you've got the space cars, you've got Christ, who's the guy from Rush Hour? Forgotten his name. Not Jackie Chan, obviously.
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, yeah.
Nice.
Chris Tucker's in there as the comedic relief. It's It's such a good film. You'll love it.
Oh, sweet. Okay,
yeah.
I do need to see this. I think maybe I've not seen it. You're not saying stuff that I remember, so yeah,
amazing.
This is going top of the list.
I'm jealous. You got fresh eyes going into this. Okay, so there we go. That's my third pick.
Nice, cool, dude. Okay, sweet. Right, I'll crack on with the second. Okay, you've already mentioned Bruce Willis, right? But there are actors that continually crop up in these sort of films and that are just the absolute staples, aren't they? And the two that jumped out for me are Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I've got to have a film with either one of those two in, right? So this was really tough for me. There's a lot. They both made some incredible, super cheesy, just wonderful action films, right? There's loads of them. Sort of honourable mentions go to Cliffhanger, Rambo, Cobra, Commando, right? All these fantastic action films that are just so good. But the one that came to the top of my list was Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a great soundtrack. There's loads of action dudes in it. There's a whole team of super cool action dudes, of which Arnold is the leader, right? They go into the jungle. They've got massive weapons, bulging biceps, just super cool 80s action stuff. The only thing that lets it down for me is the sort of sci-fi element of the Predator itself. That sort of bit, I wish Predator was a person, or I don't know, something like that.
Really?
Yeah, big time. There's choppers, there's explosions, there's the hot chick that's running around with them, loads of great stuff. It's fantastic. So, Arnold and Sly, they've both been some really great stuff, but that's just going to be just the top of my list for me, Predator.
Yeah, great shout. Predator's just got so many lines, one-liners in there that are just fantastic. I forget the name of the cowboy guy, but they're medics, whatever your name. You're bleeding. He's like, I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah, man.
It's yes. Some lines in that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, man. The actor is Jesse Ventura.
That's it. Yeah.
He's got the best bum chin. Him and Timothy Dalton are always fighting it out for the best bum chin ever. And
just so strong.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura. He's chewing gum, isn't he? He's got one of those Anzac hats that's half of it's up, so he can get his gun.
You got it.
He's got a tash as well, hasn't he?
Such a great tash.
Brilliant. He's on the list of world's greatest tashes.
for sure, big time.
The Blokes podcast Tash anthology.
Jesse Ventura. Yeah, he's a politician now, right?
Yeah.
He's into
is it Minnesota or Michigan, or he's somewhere in one of those northern states, I think. Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
What's number two?
So number two, this is going to, I think, hit all of your categories as best as I can.
Okay, cool.
Without maybe coming out of left field a little bit. So it's Tom Cruise.
Okay. Nice.
And I was thinking, everyone, when you think of Tom Cruise, you think obviously of Mission Impossible straight away.
Yeah.
And as much as I do love Mission Impossible, especially the one with the face mask, is that the second one?
No. Yes. Sorry. Number two. Yeah.
That's a fantastic film. I really like that. And there's just so many that aren't as good and whatever. They're really, really good. But
there are only two Mission Impossible films for me. I completely disregard all the others. Yeah. I mean, honourable mention to what's his name, the villain in the third one. The guy who died.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic actor.
Fantastic. Yeah. See what that film I really like. I didn't mind that one, to be honest. It freaked me out though. The big intro scene where he's like planting little mini bombs in people's heads, isn't he?
Yeah.
And the intro scene, it's old enough, so it's spoiler anyway.
It's right at the start.
Saved this woman, and like he got her in the chopper, and they're just waiting to get out, and then this bomb goes off, and her eyes like go all like cross-eyed,
yeah,
because her brain's exploded basically, and man,
freaks
I saw that.
Out.
Obviously, I don't know how young I was when that came out. I probably wasn't that young, but it freaked me right out. But I thought it was a good film.
Yeah, it was. I think his performance like really saved it. I can't remember his name, but the villain in that film,
so good.
Whatever his name is, he sort of saved that film.
Big time. So this isn't a Mission Impossible. I'm going Top Gun.
Nice. I had Top Gun on my list as well. Yeah.
Oh no!
Sorry. No. It wasn't. Didn't make the final cut, but it was on the.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was on there. It's in the periphery. Okay, cool. Yeah. So Top Gun for me it hits all those. It's got comedy.
Yep.
You've got a extremely cocky 20-something pilot.
Yep.
You've got a montage of beach volleyball with everyone oiled up to the gills. You've got an insane soundtrack.
Yep.
It makes you cry. It makes you laugh.
Yep.
You see it's sticking it to Russia.
Yep.
The whole film.
Goddamn communists.
And it's so good. I guess it's not like a traditional action because all the action is obviously within planes and stuff. But it still counts for me.
Mate, big time. I mean, I said, didn't I? Like vehicles, cars/vehicles. The planes count. Like there's guns in the planes. There's a wisecracking. There's fit chicks. There's yes. Mate, the soundtrack is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's in the made in height of the 80s. Yeah. You're onto a winner there, mate, for sure.
Perfect. Yeah. No, I think it's close to the perfect action film for sure.
Great. In fact, while you mentioned Mission Impossible 2, I just want a quick side mention to the film. I know I've talked about him before, but the films of John Woo, right? This Hong Kong guy, because he directed Mission Impossible 2 and brought a lot of his Hong Kong things into the Western cinema, right? But his Hong Kong films are just like, they're so nail on the head 80s action, because I think they saw all these 80s action films and decided to take it to the nth degree. Mm-hmm. So just a little shout out for like anyone who's an action fan. Those John Woo films are just insane. Like the wisecracking's amazing. Lighting cigars off of $100 bills, counterfeit $100 bills that burn red, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Great soundtracks, cars, or everything. Yeah. So those films like Hard Boiled, The Killer, Better Tomorrow, Face Off as well. That was another one of his Western ones.
Oh, that's a good one.
Travolta and Cage.
Yeah,
that was a John Woo film.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Really good. I think you can kind of tell. I think it's you wouldn't. I say you can kind of tell. I think you would struggle to tell like it was him. With a lot of his other films, you get that vibe. Whereas with the Mission Impossible 2, it's been a while since I've seen it, but there's only a couple of times where it's like, oh yeah, like that's got the John Woo sort of vibe. Like when he's when he breaks that guy's jaw and puts his own face on him.
Yeah.
And then he escapes on the motorbike, and then those doves start like flying everywhere when he comes out.
Yeah, man.
Like those kind of moments are like, oh, yeah.
And the two-handed gun thing as well. If anyone jumps with two handguns, that's a John Woo thing.
Yeah. Oh, really? Interesting. Ah, cool. Okay. Yeah, so I think it wasn't as that there were as many like John Woo